Who protects the chosen ones? 7 guardians you've never seen. Let me ask you something that might shake the very foundation of what you believe about your life. What if you've never actually been alone? What if since the moment you were born, maybe even before that, you've been surrounded, guarded, watched, and guided by forces so ancient, so powerful, and so hidden that most people never even notice their presence? You see, we live in a world that praises visibility. If it can't be seen, measured, or explained, then it must not be real. But you and I both know, deep down, that this is not the complete truth. Because the most important things in our lives, love, intuition, truth, purpose, they can't be weighed on a scale or held in our hands. So why should protection be any different? There are people in this world who seem to move through life like something or someone is always clearing the path ahead of them. They fall, but they never shatter. They walk into the fire and somehow emerge without a single scar. These people are not lucky, they are protected. And if you're still watching this, if something inside you told you to click, to stay, to listen, it's quite possible that you are one of them, a chosen one. But here's the question no one ever asks. Who protects the chosen ones? Who keeps you safe when you don't even know you're in danger? Who whispers when the world is screaming? Who bends the storms away from your path? Invisible hands on the wheel of destiny.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
I want to take you on a journey that most people never get to take, not because they're unworthy, but because they never ask the question. They never look beyond the veil. But you did. You're here, and that means you're ready. Ready to be shown the 7 guardians you've never seen. Not with your eyes anyway, but your soul has felt them. Every time you walked away from something that could have destroyed you. Every time you said no without a reason, but later discovered that no saved your life. Every time you couldn't explain why, but you just knew. That was them. Let's begin with the first guardian, the one who arrives before you do. This is the guardian of alignment. This one doesn't just protect you from danger, it protects you from misalignment. You know that job you didn't get? That person who ghosted you? That opportunity that fell through at the last second? That was not rejection, that was redirection. The guardian of alignment makes sure you don't end up where your spirit doesn't belong. But here's the catch. This guardian doesn't explain itself, it just acts. And if you're not awakened, it can feel like punishment. But if you are, you'll see it as grace. Have you ever felt like something was torn away from you, only to realize later it was never yours to keep? That's the guardian of alignment doing its work. But you have to trust it. Because the guardian of alignment doesn't care about comfort, it only cares about truth. And truth is often uncomfortable. You'll find yourself in rooms you don't recognize, with people you didn't expect, doing things you never planned, and yet it will feel like you've arrived. That's when you'll know the guardian has done its job. The second guardian is the guardian of silence. This one is tricky. It doesn't speak in words, it speaks in absence. When you cry out for answers and none come, when you pray and the heavens seem empty, when your soul is screaming but the world is deaf, that's not abandonment. That's the guardian of silence holding space for your transformation. You see, not all answers arrive in sound. Some come through stillness. This guardian doesn't rush your pain, it sits with you in it. It doesn't fix, It reveals. It lets you break, not to destroy you, but to show you what was never real to begin with. And you'll hate this guardian at first, because in a world addicted to noise, silence can feel like death. But if you stay long enough, you'll start to hear the whisper underneath the quiet. The whisper of your true self, the one that was buried under expectations and fear and pretending. The guardian of silence doesn't protect you from pain. It protects you through pain. It makes sure you don't run from your own becoming. It holds you there even when you want to flee, and one day you'll thank it. You'll realize that the silence wasn't empty, it was sacred. Let's talk about the third guardian now, the guardian of time. This one is the most misunderstood. We think time is linear, but it's not. It expands and contracts based on your awareness. The guardian of time protects your timing. It delays what you're not ready for and accelerates what you are. It frustrates the impatient and humbles the proud. If you've ever felt like you're behind, like life is passing you by, like everyone else is ahead of you, pause. Ask yourself, behind according to what clock? Because the guardian of time doesn't follow man-made schedules, it follows soul clocks. This guardian might keep you in the same place for years, not because you're stuck, but because the soil isn't ready. And when it is, you'll bloom overnight. People will say it happens suddenly, but they didn't see the guardian of time working in the dark, preparing you, protecting you from premature exposure. Do you really think the universe would let you rise before your roots are deep enough to withstand the wind? No, the guardian of time ensures that when you rise, you stay risen. That's real protection. Now, let me ask you something. Really ask yourself this. Would you rather get what you want now and lose it later, or wait until you're truly ready and keep it forever? That's the question the guardian of time asks you, silently, every day. And your answer determines the pace of your destiny. The fourth guardian is one you've met many times, but you probably didn't recognize it. It shows up as a stranger, a friend, a mentor, even an enemy. It's the guardian of mirrors. This guardian doesn't protect your body, it protects your awareness. It reflects back to you exactly who you are, even when you don't want to see it. Every person you meet, every relationship you enter, every conflict you face, that's the guardian of mirrors doing its work. It shows you your wounds, your patterns, your shadows, not to shame you, but to free you. Because you can't heal what you won't face. And the guardian of mirrors makes sure you face it. That toxic relationship, that wasn't just about them. It was a mirror. That job you hated, a mirror. That friend who betrayed you, another mirror. Until you see yourself clearly, this guardian will keep bringing mirrors. And the moment you do, the moment you own your reflection, that's when the mirrors stop cutting and start healing. So let me ask you again, who protects the chosen ones? The answer is not simple, it's layered, it's sacred, and it's nothing like what you've been taught. You thought protection was about safety, but now you're starting to understand it's about alignment, truth, timing, and awakening. These guardians don't wrap you in bubble wrap, they throw you into fire, not to burn you, but to reveal the gold. And we've only just begun. The fire that doesn't burn, guardians of shadows and inner battles. Let's go deeper now, into places most people are afraid to go. Because if you truly want to understand who protects the chosen ones, you must be willing to walk into the shadows, not to get lost in them, but to find the guardians that live there. You see, the light doesn't need protection. It is protection. But your shadows, your fears, your doubts, your anger, your trauma, those are sacred territories, and only the bravest guardians dwell there. These are not the guardians that comfort you. These are the ones that confront you. They pull you into the fire, not to burn you, but to burn away what isn't real. And if you've ever wondered why your life has felt like a series of internal battles, this is why. You're not cursed. You're being refined. The fifth guardian is the guardian of shadows. This one is not here to make you feel good. It's here to make you free. It knows every dark corner of your soul, every wound you tucked away, every part of yourself you buried to survive, and it brings all of it to the surface, not to punish you, but to purify you. Most people run from this guardian. They numb out, distract themselves, blame others. But the chosen ones, we face it. We sit in the discomfort. We let the pain speak, because we know that what we don't heal, we repeat, and there's no freedom in repetition. This guardian often shows up as breakdowns, as panic attacks, as moments when you feel like everything inside you is collapsing. But what if I told you that's not destruction, it's demolition? The guardian of shadows clears away the lies you've built your life around. It forces you to question everything, your beliefs, your identity, your relationships. And in that questioning, you begin to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. That's the real you, the chosen you. And this guardian will not stop until you meet that version of yourself. Let me ask you something. What part of yourself have you been most afraid to face? Because that's where this guardian is calling you, not to punish, but to liberate. It's saying, you don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to pretend. Bring it all into the light. Because your shadow isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. And once you understand that, the darkness becomes your ally. Then comes the sixth guardian, the guardian of inner battles. This one doesn't fight for you. It teaches you how to fight for yourself, not against others, but against the false voices within you. The voice that says you're not enough, the one that tells you to settle, the one that tells you to stay small. This guardian gives you a sword, not to harm, but to cut ties with everything that no longer serves your soul. It awakens the warrior in you, and not the kind that conquers others, but the kind that conquers doubt, fear, and illusion. This guardian is often silent, but its presence is felt in the moments where you choose growth over comfort, when you say no to what drains you, when you speak truth even though your voice shakes, when you break generational cycles with trembling hands but steady hearts. That's the guardian of inner battles standing beside you, whispering, "You've got this, keep going." And let's be honest, those battles are exhausting. The world doesn't see them, they don't give you awards for them, but they are the most important fights you'll ever face, because they shape your destiny. They carve out space for your soul to lead. And every time you win one of those battles, no matter how small, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was stolen. That's protection. That's power. But here's what most people miss. These inner guardians don't make life easier. They make you stronger. They don't stop the storms. They teach you how to walk through them. And that's the difference between being protected from life and being protected through life. The chosen ones don't get less pain, they get more purpose. more clarity, more transformation, because when you're chosen, your life isn't just about survival, it's about awakening. So I'll ask you again, what if the fire you fear is the very thing that sets you free? What if the pain is not a punishment but a portal? What if the things you're trying to avoid are actually the guardians trying to reach you? You see, the chosen ones are not spared from struggle. We're shaped by it. And these guardians, the ones in the shadows, the ones in the silence, the ones in the fire, they don't come to make your life easy. They come to make your soul real. The seventh guardian, the one who never leaves. Now we arrive at the final guardian, the one the others lead you toward, the one that never announces its presence with thunder or spectacle, and yet has been with you through every silent night, every unanswered prayer, every fall and every rise. This is the most mysterious of all, the most personal, the most eternal. It is the seventh guardian, the guardian of essence. You may call it higher self, divine spark, soul memory, or inner light. Names don't matter here. This guardian doesn't speak in human language. It speaks in knowing, in presence, in the deep, quiet certainty that you are never truly alone. The guardian of essence doesn't protect your image. It protects your truth. And truth, my friend, is often a lonely road. That's why this guardian is the one who never leaves, because it knows the cost of walking as yourself in a world that rewards masks. It knows the temptation to shrink, to conform, to become palatable. And so, it stays with you, silently anchoring you to your real self. Have you ever felt like something inside you refused to give up, even when everything outside of you was falling apart? That was the guardian of essence, refusing to let you forget who you are. This guardian is not loud. It doesn't intervene with dramatic signs. It whispers, it nudges, it pulls you toward alignment like gravity. And when you stray too far from your truth, it creates dissonance, an ache, a restlessness, a sense that something's off. That's not anxiety, that's not confusion, that's your essence calling you home. And the beautiful, terrifying part is this: you can't escape it. You can numb it for a while, drown it in noise and distraction, but it will always return, because this guardian is not outside of you, it is you. You see, all the other guardians, alignment, silence, time, mirrors, shadows, inner battles, they are extensions of this one. They are the outer layers of a deep, eternal protection that begins and ends with your soul. The guardian of essence is the root, the source, the original agreement you made before you were even born. The agreement to remember, to awaken, to rise. And no matter how lost you've felt, how far you've wandered, how many times you've forgotten, this guardian has never stopped holding the thread. But here's the real secret. The guardian of essence doesn't just protect you, it becomes you. As you grow, as you heal, as you shed all the layers the world placed on you, you begin to embody this guardian. You start to live from it, speak from it, love from it. And when that happens, protection is no longer something you wait for, it becomes something you are. You become the guardian. Not just for yourself, but for others. You become the safe space, the mirror, the silence, the light in someone else's darkness. That's the final initiation of the chosen ones, not to be protected forever, but to become protectors, not in the way the world defines it, but in the spiritual sense, holding space for truth, for authenticity, for healing. Let me ask you something now, something most people never dare to consider. What if the version of you that you've been chasing is actually the one who's been waiting for you this whole time? What if your higher self isn't some future you, but the ancient you you've forgotten, the one who remembers your purpose, your power, your path? That is the guardian of essence. And it's not waiting on the outside, it's waiting on the inside for you to listen. And when we finally do listen, when we stop running, stop pretending, stop performing, we begin to hear that voice more clearly. It tells us where to go, who to trust, what to release. It becomes our compass, and in that moment we understand something profound. Protection was never about avoiding pain. It was about remembering truth. You've never been without it. Even in your darkest hour, the guardian was still there, not to remove the path, but to walk it with you, step by step, breath by breath, until you remembered who you are, becoming the guardian. When the protected become the protectors. Now we've come full circle. You started this journey asking a question most don't even think to ask: who protects the chosen ones? But now you see the answer is not one thing, not even 7 things. The answer is a path, a process, a sacred unfolding. And the final stage of that unfolding is this: becoming the guardian yourself. Because protection is not a place you stay in forever. It's a space you grow through so that you can become the very force that once sheltered you. And that changes everything. You see, many people spend their entire lives looking for someone to save them, someone to tell them what to do, where to go, who to be. But chosen ones? We were never meant to be saved. We were meant to awaken, and when we do, we realize something that shakes us to our core. No one is coming, because you are the one who breaks the cycle, the one who heals the bloodline, the one who says, "It ends with me." That's what being chosen really means. Not that you're better, not that you're special in the way ego wants to be special, but that your soul agreed to rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. And here's what's wild. Once you embody your own essence, once you stop waiting for the guardians and realize they were training you all along, the world starts to look different. You begin to see through the illusions. You start recognizing the pain in others, not as something to judge, but as something to hold. You see people not as broken, but as becoming. You become the calm in the chaos, the clarity in the confusion, the mirror that reflects not ego, but soul. That is what it means to protect others, not to save them, but to remind them of who they are. Think about the people who changed your life, not because they gave you answers, but because they reflected your truth back to you when you had forgotten it. They didn't save you, they awakened you, and now it's your turn. Not through force, not through preaching, but through presence, through embodiment, through being so rooted in your truth that others feel safe to explore their own. It starts small, a conversation, a kind word, a moment of deep listening, a refusal to betray yourself even when it's inconvenient. These are acts of spiritual protection. Every time you choose integrity over comfort, you become a guardian. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, truth over performance, healing over hiding, you become a living temple, a place where others can come and remember themselves. That's power. That's legacy. So, let me ask you, maybe the most important question of all. What kind of guardian are you becoming? Not in some distant future, right now, in your daily choices, in your thoughts, in the energy you bring into every room. Because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more guardians, souls who have walked through fire and turned it into light. People who have faced the silence and found their voice, beings who have healed their own wounds and now hold space for others to do the same. The chosen ones are not here to escape the world. We are here to transform it, quietly, powerfully, from the inside out. And we are protected, not because we are untouchable, but because we are aligned. Because we've remembered, because we've become the very thing we once searched for. So the next time you wonder who's watching over you, who's guiding you, who's making sure you don't get lost, look in the mirror, not at your face, but into your eyes, deeper, past the personality, into the soul, and listen. You'll hear it. The quiet voice, the ancient presence, the guardian, still here, always here, because you are not alone. You never were, and now you never will be.